This episode is, as always, done on the insane difficulty with no death. Everything is in the description, ways to support me. I've got a Discord, Twitter, Twitch, links to directly support. There's a playlist for all of the missions. Welcome to Act 3. This is a Wasteland Incursion mission entitled Dust Ghost. As you can see, we've got the full squad with us. We've got Sid, we've got the new recruit, the sniper, we have Gabe, and we've got Stotty, aka Grenadier Man. So this one, you have to reach the gate, and if you're wanting an initial tip off the back, once all the enemies are dead, the mission is over. So collect the cases as you can, because yeah, once the mission's done, there's no chance to skirt around and escape. You actually need to collect the cases. Now initially we go with a big sniper move. It was just a blind one. I just pushed up and spotted a big pack of tickers to the top right area and managed to land some snipe shots, and because it went pretty well, I set up and just overwatched random areas. At this point I didn't know where the enemies were going to spawn, and I just overwatched random areas that I thought might be dangerous. And I noticed that there was a sort of a hill that I was going to get flanked from behind, so I decided to push on this left-hand side. And my plan really from the get-go was to move everybody up this left-hand side, leaving one or two people behind, just to cover myself in case anything lands, drops behind, or something like that. So the name of the game for this mission was, I actually did this in one take, so as always this is insane with no deaths. And I did this one in one take, which can mean two things. Either it's easy, or I had the correct tactic. I felt like this mission was pretty comfortable, and normally there's tension and a little bit of... there's a few moments in the game, and I feel like because there wasn't, I probably did all the right moves, or roughly right about what I should have done. So because I missed this ticker, I decided to play it safe and grenade it, because obviously if I shoot again and miss, it's going to push me and blow me up, and that's not what you want on a no-death scenario. So on the left-hand side, we've now climbed up this ladder, and we've taken control, and we're just overwatching. And I know the enemy's quite far back, so I'm not in risk of being sniped or shot or killed or anything, hence why I'm poking out a little bit more confidently than I might do so on another mission. Now this hammerburst drone does push up, and he could have returned fire on Gabe there, which could have ended in insta-death. However, he does overwatch, so maybe do be careful when pushing up this left-hand side, just to double check that it's safe to overwatch. Now, to get myself out of this predicament, I'm going to grenade. That's going to apply shell shock, and it's obviously going to interrupt. This gives me a few options. It's going to allow me to chainsaw with Gabe, which is in return going to give me an action point back, which is going to let me hop over this wall to safety. Now, I am poisoned. Poison does make you take less, does make you deal less damage. So I didn't really feel like popping out and overwatching, or like really taking any wild shots, because yeah, I'm doing a lot less damage than I should be. And as a result, you're just risking it really for no benefit. So I just tucked everybody in and ended the turn. That was kind of the play I decided to go for. And they push right on into the overwatchers, but again, they're not been too aggressive here. There's no boom shot, there's no grenadiers, there's no, shotgunners to contend with. So I always think that if the game gives you a mission where you can be a bit more patient, you should take it, because it's not very often on Insane with no deaths you get a chance to do that. So I decided, yeah, for this mission, it seems pretty calm so far, so I'll calmly make my way to the first stage. Sitting on this sandbag here and overwatching the area with a sniper tucked away behind this rock feels pretty safe. And the reason I brought the sniper up is I felt like it was okay. I dealt with the flank, and I was now just really dealing with the enemies directly in front of me. So we have a Cantus. A Cantus is going to make people more tanky. It's just going to make the mission a lot more difficult. So obviously you want to deal with that, and you want to bear in mind that certain characters are going to be a bit more tanky. So I'm thinking about throw a grenade onto this ticker, and we can blow him up, which is nice. It actually didn't manage to kill him, which maybe that was a misthrow by me. But I decided to, again, play cautious, overwatch, and at this point Gabe and Stotty, and I believe Sid as well at this point, has unlocked a attachment that is giving my weapons knockback. an interrupt, which makes the Overwatch even stronger. So look out for that in your inventory if you've got it. It's going to make things a lot easier, a lot more comfortable to get through. So at this point, I'm now trying to make a push. I don't want to sit there all day on Overwatch. So I've pushed Sid up and I've empowered him. The reason I've done this is so when I throw this grenade, it will in fact actually kill this ticker. And then obviously deal more damage to the surrounding target. Now, I'm not sure if I want to take this 48% shot. I go for it. It doesn't really do anything. I don't want to waste another turn. And I don't want Sid out in the open. So I retreat. I've killed the ticker. I've damaged the other guy. And I've got myself out of there. It's job done. And I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm safe. So I feel like that's always a good place to be in. Now, obviously, the Countess is somewhere at the back, and I don't want to just blind push up, because they can just kill you in one shot. So instead, I'm going to sit back here and use Stotty's grenades. He has great range with his UIR gear. Look out for the UIR gear, the cooldowns, the explosion damage, and radius. All of that stuff's really useful. And again, I'm just going to set up an Overwatch. This mission is a lot about controlling and a lot about overwatching. Some missions, you're rushing from bombs, collecting cases, trying to kill a boom shot in one turn before it nukes your whole team. This one felt like a much more Overwatch heavy mission. Now, I have recently been watching a few people play on casual difficulties, lesser difficulties, and the game is drastically different. So if you ever see someone playing on Insane and they're playing cautiously, there's a reason for it. You really do get one shot. And as a result, that's why I've pushed up wide and set up a little Overwatch area. And I've also kept two people back. I don't want to overextend here unnecessarily. So I've obviously got to get in this ring, but I'm holding back and I'm still nading. I'm taking out these tickers. The reason for this is if you miss that ticker with an Overwatch or a shot, it's going to come closer to you. It's going to blow you up. You're not going to have a nice time. So what I did was I pushed everybody up into this like cluster and sort of just Overwatched an entire area. This way, you know, the ticker can't get me. I'm pretty sure the Countess can't get me. And yeah, I didn't want to go wide left or push up until I dealt with that ticker. Now that the ticker's dealt with, it's only the Countess remaining. And I'm pretty confident with 4 guys, we can deal with it. So what I did was I pushed right up and I hid myself. Just basically to let everybody get grenades back up. Let everybody get cooldowns. And just give everyone a safe position to hide. Then we can attack it next turn. So, you know, always be wary of your cooldowns and stuff like that. Now, the Countess actually pushed out, which dealt a ton of damage, which meant I could snipe it. It was an 80% chance. Didn't want to take that chance, so I precision shot. That gives you more damage and gives you more accuracy. So it was a 100% chance to hit. And that's why I took the shot. I could have thrown some grenades. I just decided to go with the sniper for no other reason than who doesn't love a good headshot. So I've collected the case with Gabe, and now I'm pushing up to this gate to hack into this code and crack open this doorway. And we're going to see what the game's got in store for us here on this chapter, or should I say checkpoint 2. So it's asking me to defeat all enemies. You can see there's one pink box there. There might be another somewhere. I do make a mistake and I don't collect the box because I thought I would have time to. But do bear in mind, like I said previously, once all the enemies are dead, the mission ends. Now, there is a ton of enemies here. And not just regular enemies, scary enemies. We have torque bows that kill you in one shot from anywhere. We've got snipers. We've got hammer bursters. We've got tickers. And at first I pushed out and then I realised, okay, there's way too many to hold this wide area. So I pushed everyone out and planted a ton of grenades and then ran back, thinking, you know, I'll let them bring the fight to me. If you go through that doorway, there's the whole area to the left, to the right. You're also going to be fighting the torque bow in this tower. And if this game has taught me anything throughout the hours of playtime on Insane, if the enemy has height advantage, you are toast. So I did not want to push through this doorway when there was this many enemies and this many angles to cover. It just didn't make sense. Yeah, there's just way too much to cover, especially with the fact, if you didn't know, these Theron guards, these torque bowers, can sort of empower each other. and travel a long, long way. So what I did here was I initially threw a grenade with Stotty. That's my most impactful grenade. He deals the most damage. That's why I threw it with him. And I empowered Sid. I empowered Sid so he could do this. He could push out and finish him off. And then he could retreat safely. And that's why I chose to do that. So the empower was to make sure I had enough damage and I had enough movement points to get back. And the reason I chose to kill the torque bow over everyone is, like I just said, they can empower people. They can flick you, ricochet, stick you. There's way too many options they have to deal with. So I feel like if you have an opportunity to kill one of them, you probably should take it and then take your win and retreat, which is what I did. Now the grenades are actually working pretty well, but this ticker sort of set them all off, which was a shame. So my kind of plan sort of failed there. Maybe you could spread them out a little bit more, if with hindsight, if you're watching this as a guide. Now, again, we've got way too many angles. So I've just decided for a few turns, I'm just going to try thin them out. I'm not going to go through that doorway unnecessarily until I feel like I need to. So I'm just going to thin them out. Overwatching with the sniper, he's railing down shots. That lands 1, 2, 3 shots. This one's going to get knocked back and interrupted and downed. And Stotty now has this passive occasionally where sometimes if he doesn't kill them, he carries on shooting. It's either a passive or a gear. Apologies for the lack of clarity there, but either way, it's pretty damn good. You should probably look into it. I also realised as I'm watching this, I did the entire game without ever using a healing tool or grenade, which is a pretty interesting one. I feel like that could be an achievement. An achievement, speaking of achievements, is figuring out that Stotty can actually throw a grenade over this wall. This opened a lot more opportunities, meaning with the range he's got, the radius and the damage, I'm not even having to go over this wall anymore. I'm able to throw the grenade if they get close enough over the wall. So do note that. If you get yourself in trouble, check if you can throw a grenade over the wall. It's going to help a ton. And they apply shell shock. So they're not going to be able to move as far. So that just, even if you can't kill it, it's a pretty good maneuver in itself. So speaking of grenades, I'm going to throw another one through this doorway. Again, just to deal with the ticker. And again, I'm going to set up another little 4-way sort of cross Overwatch. Or 3-way, I guess. And this is how this mission went for me. There was snipers pushing up. And you know how snipers are in this game. You don't want to be in the way of a sniper. So holding this doorway I felt like was a really good strong point. A really good strategy on this mission. Again, if you're playing on lower difficulties, you probably can run around chainsaw, chain executions. But for me, it was time to sit back. Hold this doorway, throw grenades over the roof, and do bear in mind you can always empower someone if the grenade is just shy of killing them. Now, this was my warning shot. I feel like in each mission you get like one warning shot. Sometimes they overwatch you instead of shooting you, and sometimes they miss. That sniper grazed my hair, and I decided, okay, I don't want to sit there and get popped at by a sniper all day. So I decided to move the troops up a little bit further with my sort of back to the wall. That way if they're going to push me, they're going to have to come through the doorway. And as a result, I think it made the AI retreat, which was pretty nice. So I'm going to push Stotty up here and throw a big grenade on this wall. I might even been able to kill both of them if they weren't hunkered and buffed up. But I threw the grenade and killed it, overwatched him as well. Went for a 41% chance shot, and the reason I took that extra shot was even if I failed to kill him, I had enough action points to escape. So that's why I went for that. So that was nice. We've got Sid here. I've pushed the sniper up to the left, and I'm going to collect this case, and we're only down to 3 enemies. So with 3 enemies remaining, we've thinned out the pack, and now I'm beginning to make some moves. One of them is downed. And I've pushed up to this right hand side, and I deliberated this move for a good 10 minutes because there was a torque bow up there, there was a hammer burster I believe, and I just didn't want to push up right now and get torque bowed after all this patient play. So after about 10 minutes of deliberation, I decided that the best play was to take Gabe and immediately finish off the torque bow guy that had come down. And this is obviously risky because you're now way out in the open. But I'm going to get an action point for killing him with a chainsaw, and it's going to allow me to tuck myself out of the way of this last remaining enemy. Now do bear in mind I probably should have picked up the case, but at this point the mission had been going on quite a while, it had been quite some patient play, and I wanted to get it done. So I overwatched this area so the hammer burster couldn't really kill Gabe, and I began to push my remaining units up to cross him again in a sort of a triple threat overwatch pattern, whatever you want to call it. Lots of overwatch in this mission. So that we're on the 4v1, sorry, here, and he's interrupted. Now, what I could have done right now is I could have probably taken a few turns to pick up this box, but I decided to just get the height advantage, which gives me more accuracy, and deal with him and get the mission over with. So I think the best way to deal with this mission is, remember, you can grenade over walls, utilize your overwatch and your empowers, and your lock and load, which is going to give you more damage on that turn, so you can reload everybody for free. Control that zone, and you'll have it done no problem. Leave a comment and a like if you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I'll leave you with the box opening and the crate opening. And we are slowly trucking through this campaign, and we're crushing it at the moment. One take, no deaths.